Welcome to WhoDooTV. We are live. It is July 3rd, and it is time we talk some new comic books that are coming out on this fantastic 4th of July introductions. My name is Hoosier.
And I'm Jared.
We know this guy.
Yep, I'm glad to be back on.
If you guys are new to this channel, we do comic book reviews, interviews, and these live shows every Tuesday. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and that way you don't miss any of this. But I'm happy to have you here, man.
Thank you. I'm super glad to be back. It's been a crazy month. A lot of good books have come out this month. Yeah, a lot of interesting news as well. I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
It has been a lot of things going on in the comic book world recently. You know, got the great movie that's been of the Avengers, which is kicking butt and taking names. Deadpool's coming out, and then we've had a lot of these the summer comic push is coming.
Yeah, well, actually,
new titles.
Well, even with movies, I forgot we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp coming out this week.
Boom, yeah.
Yeah, so it's another thing with Marvel, which has always been fun.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they that was one thing that was interesting of comic book news that kind of came out this week. It's been out a little while now, but that at San Diego Comic-Con, just around the corner, that there will be no Marvel Studios in Hall H, which is kind of a big thing. That there's no Marvel there, and I think it has to do a little bit with the Avengers #4 that was leaked out, the Endgame.
Yeah, that could be a possible title for that new book. But yeah, it sounds like this could be actually a really good thing. There are a couple titles that we know are coming out after this one, but there's going to be a whole new direction that they're going to take. And so maybe at the end of this next Avengers, we actually get a better idea of what's kind of going on. So I
think if they were to announce anything, it would be spoiler. Right.
Exactly.
If they were to show Captain Marvel trailer, spoiler.
Right. Well, Captain Marvel will be coming out.
She will be coming out. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought they would have shown that there then.
Yeah.
Who knows? But we got Ant-Man coming. We'll probably get a Captain Marvel tie into her.
I hope so.
Into that.
I hope we get something.
So that'll be good. But yeah, it gives that speculation that some people might say is the comic book industry slowing down as far as work goes, and I would have to say no.
Yeah, it's still trucking. It's still going. And so Danny's on with us. What's up, Danny? Haven't seen you in a while. I'm sure you've been on, but I haven't. Always enjoyed Danny on the show.
Always, man. Danny's a good guy. And then, you know, we've been keep seeing movie news come out, right? And one that's also is Sony has came out saying that they're going to be planning on making a Faith movie.
Great.
So
I think this is a super accessible title to get people into the Valiant universe. I mean, even Bloodshot will it will get a certain type of person to come out to see it, but Faith is going to be open to everybody, you know? Right. So I think that's exciting. I think that's really exciting news.
I think it's great that Faith is going to be in there because that's going to get a lot of other comic books, the new comic book fans in there. I believe Valiant's got a lot of the old comic book fans, the older, you know, guys who were reading it when they were in the 90s, you know, and the new age needs to happen and change. Faith is so unique in the comic book industry as a whole that it can create a lot of plus. You know what I mean? You're going to hear about it. You know, it's going to get some press.
For sure.
And then Dinesh keeps posting around that he's on his way to South Africa.
Okay.
To do what? I would believe it's to film. Some Bloodshot.
Doing some Bloodshot in there, which is great. I think that's awesome. Apparently, we've got Vin Diesel out there posting lots of pictures of working out and everything. So
oh yes, England did beat Colombia. Yes, I was in like the 105th minute, and they were still I believe 1-1. So that's cool. Thanks for the sports update, Danny. Good job for your countrymen doing well there.
Yeah, which is great because I think a lot of people weren't super optimistic on what England was going to do.
Right,
but
no one ever is. Kidding.
Yeah.
That would be America.
Sorry, Danny.
That would be us.
Danny, tomorrow is our day, and we're gonna take it.
Right? Come on. But our brothers across the pond.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I ultimately think that it's good to have that, and that Valiant's having some big things. It's coming. I'm pumped up for it, man. Seeing Vin Diesel getting bulked up for this role.
I mean, bulk up as much as you can, because I think if you get this super beefy, Ray Garrison going in there, that'll be awesome. But
yeah, I hope he is, pretty beefed up. I mean, he'll be pretty solid when it happens. I love that Dinesh is still one of the producers of it. I think that's great. It's gonna have some good tie-ins. There's who knows what this plot's gonna be. There's all kinds of things going out there that they're going with the old 80s or the 90s run, and then some people say it's the 2012 run. From what I understand by hearing interviews of Eric Heiser, I thought it was supposed to be the 2012 run. Because I know when he's writing The Harbingers, that's when he started talking about falling in love with Livewire and doing all of those characters in that iteration of the 2012 run.
Dinesh has confirmed that it is Ray Garrison.
Okay.
So that is a good thing. And we can that points me toward the 2012 run. So
right.
We'll see.
So I'm in for that, dude.
Yeah.
And then speaking of, what books have you kind of read the last couple weeks?
Yeah. Well, last week we got Modern Fantasy that came out. Modern Fantasy #1. So that's that Rayford Roberts and Kristen Gutznick one, which is a lot of fun. It's kind of if Dungeons and Dragons was more modern. I mean, it's pretty much exactly like a translation of our world into like what it would look like in Dungeons and Dragons. To the point where like even their cell phones are replaced by scrolls that they can put out, these small things, and they can text each other over that. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of silly, but then they, these characters are getting in a little bit over their heads. So we'll see where that goes. I think that's a pretty cool concept, and it sounds like they're having a good time putting that together.
Yeah, I've heard Dungeons and Dragons meets The Office.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so all around score there for them. Good job on them. Their parts.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Man, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be last week's books too.
That's true. That's true. I haven't gotten into it yet, but I'm really looking forward to. My wife actually put me onto this book. It's the Manifest Destiny about about Lewis and Clark and how they're going out as monster hunters. Apparently one of her coworkers is reading it right now, and she came home and was like, "Oh, I think you'd like this." I was like, "I've never heard of this. This sounds amazing."
Score one for the wife. That's awesome.
It came out a while ago, so I'm going to try and get into there before. So
yeah, and like Danny said, surely we need a Harbinger movie before the Faith movie.
I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah, that's for certain.
We'll see what's coming out of that.
Right. Then we're gonna move on. I got into the Valiant stuff last week, right? The Harbinger Wars 2, EXO, and Quantum and Woody. Elliot Rahal's second book on that run. But I got into catch into a title that had some news recently, and that our friend Dinesh is going to be starting a company, Hive Mind. It's a production company, and part of it is retain the rights to get the TV series for Gideon Falls.
That's
the
big.
Image comic, horror comic by Jeff Lemire and Sorrentino, Andrea Sorrentino. And it has been so far so good. I was out of town for work, and I actually went onto a beach and sat and read issue #4. I love that book. It is great, and it's cool to see again our boy Dinesh landing on his feet.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have expected any less.
Right.
The dude, he knows what he's doing in the industry, so that's pretty good. I mean, I think that's awesome. I think it's really good, and he'll be working with Lemire again, as far as working on a screenplay and hopefully having him involved somehow in that. So,
right.
Yeah.
He has leaked out little things. Like I remember him saying something about Batista getting a role in a new TV show that's coming, or a new movie that's coming. And to me,
Eternal Warrior?
No, it wasn't Eternal Warrior. It was another show. But it leads me to believe that he's going to be he's going to be linked to a lot of other videos coming up, a lot of other movies coming up, a lot of other media that's coming out. So I think that's awesome. I think Dinesh has probably got his hands in more pots than we want to believe he actually does.
Yeah.
Getting into things like that. It's been pretty cool. I mean, Gideon Falls is a cool story. It is a great Jeff Lemire story. But what does Hive Mind have around the corner? What all is Dinesh going to get into?
We've got one thing. What else is there?
I'm sure he's got some other stuff lined up.
Okay.
I'm sure.
I'm looking forward to some announcements then.
Right? Keep them coming. But that's huge.
That's massive.
That's huge. Gideon Falls. So having that connected there too. One of the things in comic books that's been happening recently that you've heard a lot of, I've recently heard a lot of press. And then Brian, how do you say his last name? Stelfreeze?
Stelfreeze, yeah.
He posted a picture on Twitter this week of the DC cardboard display for the Walmart exclusive comic books that are on the shelves at Walmart. And, he went ahead and picked them up. But there's going to be a couple exclusive stories into this. There's going to be some backstories where you're going to meet the Terrifics. You're going to, get into some Justice League, get into some Batman. And people have been, curling their nose up about it, kind of frustrated at times because of it, saying it's a bad thing, that it's not really good for the comic book stores, and it's not really good for the comic book fan. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think to call it bad for the stores, for the comic book stores, is a little much. I mean, you see right in that picture you guys saw, there were only 2 titles there. And it says brand new comics come out twice a month. So I'm assuming it's possible they're going to be rotating, twice a month. And it's not going to be like 1 book a week and they're just offsetting them. It doesn't... If they've got original stories, it seems more just like a marketing thing rather than an actual within canon sort of deal going on. Because that would really suck for DC to have to put only Walmart will carry half the books coming out.
Right.
And then you have to go to your store for 1 book and then to Walmart for the other book. Like, that would be really silly. And I just don't think that's what it is. I think it's more geared toward kids, trying to get them more involved in comic books and get them excited about, Batman and Superman. I mean, those are the titles that we see in the display itself. So
right, and I think that's huge, is that there's going to be accessibility, right, for somebody to come across it on the Walmart shelf walking out of the store. I don't think it's not designed for that regular comic book reader.
Nope.
Yes, if you're a fan, you want to go in there and get it because it will have a small exclusive stories in it. So they are trying to entice you to go get it. But I think it's going to bring more fans to it than anything.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get people that may not go to a comic book store. They may not know where a comic book store is, or they may not just think about it because it's not necessarily convenient, like going to a Walmart or grocery store
for sure
and picking it up. Publishers have came out recently. Marvel, DC, Boom, a couple other ones as well. I'm brain farting on it. Wanting there to be spinner racks in stores now.
Okay.
And Diamond has came in and backed this up, saying we want it too. And they're going to start having the comic book stores put the spinner racks in other stores. So the comic book stores would therefore then go and manage it.
That's kind of cool.
It is cool. Because remember the old stores used to get it. They used to get the comic books. Just like magazines, stores didn't buy magazines. They only purchased the magazine once it was sold.
Right.
And that's why back in the day, all the covers would be ripped off. And that's how they got their credit for those for those books they already had. They were able to send them back and not have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was what happened. But this is moving allowing the comic book store to take a little bit of ownership in this and hopefully get some people go into anywhere. I was thinking a cool place to put them would be a tattoo shop. Like, I don't know.
That's a great idea.
And that way somebody's getting a tattoo, they may buy one and read it.
Or coffee shops.
I don't know.
Any place people are hanging
Bartell
out.
Drugs, what we have here.
Well, yeah, exactly.
There's a number of places.
As the other places are.
Coffee shops would be key here, I think.
Oh,
too.
for sure.
Hospital waiting rooms are giant. Would be amazing to have them at a gift shop at a hospital.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
And this may allow people to get into it in different places. That spontaneous purchase and get into something they wouldn't have otherwise get. I think bringing back the spinner rack is a great thing. Yes, it's something more for a store to handle, but may bring some more readers in.
I agree. I think that's genius. And I like the idea of having it sort of still, the money is still going to the new comic book shops.
Right. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so some crazy things.
Yeah.
And I did a horrible job editing this next image.
Well,
let's talk about some new comics this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Tell us what you guys are reading in the list. We want to see what your chats are, what you got in here. We want to see what you guys are reading. So make sure you tell us what you got. I know you got a book coming from Dark Horse.
Yes, sir.
I'm ignoring my edit, guys.
It's a little avant-garde. Let's call it that. Well, yeah, I want to talk about Quantum Age #1. This is Jeff Lemire. This is within the Black Hammer universe. This takes place in the future within that universe, and kind of dealing with how that universe would play out. They were looking back on the Black Hammer farm, and it's a bunch of superheroes wanting to try and emulate what was done back then. So I think this could be really cool. It's just more world building, and I don't know. I feel like Lemire's having a lot of fun with this, or else he wouldn't be putting out these titles. So I want to support that, and I really want to, I don't know, read what he's putting out.
Right. Anything Lemire's doing in this whole universe that he's building up is pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm digging anything Lemire puts out. Up for an Eisner for Best Writer, up for a Rico Award for Best Writer. Rightfully so.
I agree.
Yeah.
There needs to be an award for the hardest working guy in comics, because man, oh man, does that?
Yeah.
We've talked about.
Yeah.
We're gonna Lemire fanboy again, real quick.
Right. Well, there's a couple guys that really didn't put in the work, and Kent is one of them.
Oh, Kent, absolutely.
Lemire is one of them, and another guy we're going to talk later on with a couple books here later on today, who's also doing a lot of work as well. Maybe not as much, but a lot, nonetheless, a lot of work. I'm going to keep on that Dark Horse train that you started. Okay,
let's do this.
And that is going to be Brian Wood's new book with Mac Chater is Sword Daughter by Dark Horse, out from Dark Horse. Got #1, awesome book. And then just this time frame of story is where Brian Wood excels.
Yeah.
He has done a great job of doing, like this, Viking stage era that he's continues done Northlanders and Black Road with Magnus the Black. Again, another one that comes out, and it is just so well designed. It is sleek. It is, it's not over the top, but it is just right what you need. If you guys haven't got into a Brian Wood story, what are you waiting for? Really, it's good. He does a good story. It's going to get you connected. So
yeah, and I mean, we just talked about the passion with the Jeff Lemire and how he must be having just a good time building up this universe of the Black Hammer. I mean, Brian Wood, I think, so much enjoys the history of the ancient Scandinavia and Viking culture and that whole area there, and I think it's his passion, and that it really plays out in the stories he writes. It's really
agree.
Cool.
I agree. And when you have that much knowledge about it, share it.
Absolutely,
share it. Eventually, there's going to be another Magnus Black story.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, there should be.
That is signed to come on be a series. There's Black Road, which is part of the Magnus the Black story. So him and Gary Brown going to do some more.
Which is great. I thought they did so well in that. It's kind of like, I think Gary Brown described it as they want to kind of do sort of a Jack Reacher thing with it.
Right.
So it's a Magnus the Black story. So we had the Black Road, and we'll get something else as a Magnus the Black story, which is fun. I think
I like it.
That's a great thing for this character.
It's good stuff. This week is a big week in comic books. July 4th is also the day that good old Batman and Catwoman get married.
Finally tie the knot.
Again.
Yeah. Again. Yeah.
And, there's... I do love the Jim Lee covers.
Oh, absolutely.
Come on, Jim Lee covers. Even though there's that change of Jeff Johns stepping down as the chief creative officer and Jim Lee stepping in, we might not see as many of these in the future, which is kind of a bittersweet. But Batman #50 is coming out this week, and they are getting married, and there has been speculation of it being leaked on what's to happen with it, but who knows?
Yeah. I didn't want to get too far into that because I don't know. I didn't want to leak anything myself, but it sounds like some people are upset about what's happened with that, which was also involved with another book that's going to be with it, which would be Catwoman. Catwoman 38, I want to say it is, or
or 1?
I was thinking, Nightwing. Nightwing's like 38 or something like that. All right, Catwoman number 1, and this one's going to be taking place pretty much sort of on the wedding night, but she like sneaks out and does stuff. So it seems like possibly these 2 books may have gotten some spoilers leaked out there, which is kind of a bummer for the big fans. But don't go look for the spoilers. Just wait till tomorrow, pick up the books, and take a look at them for yourself.
Don't let anybody else ruin your wonderful comic book reading days.
Yeah.
That's why we try to avoid it when we're on this show for these Tuesdays. So that's one thing that you can get. We'll try to tell you spoiler if we accidentally do it, though. I'm going to stick on this DC wing that we got going on, right?
Yeah.
I pulled up number 1. I enjoyed the book. Number 2, 2 weeks ago, is great. And that is Scott. Whoa, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that, guys. Is going to be Justice League number 3. Justice League number 3 has been pretty awesome. That is going to be continue solid. We're getting some more of the Green Lantern in there. This team is a great connection. I like this team. I like the way it's combined. I've heard some old guys say that they didn't like the fact that Cyborg is in it because he's not an original member. But, Cyborg has, been in the Justice League prior. He's been in TV shows as in the Justice League.
He's in the movie even.
Well, he's in the movie, and they were trying to say that he was in the movie to kind of be your captain. They were trying to say that he's in this in order to be compete with Marvel.
Okay.
He's a person of color, and he is your Iron Man. You know what I mean? The super smart tech guy.
Yeah.
And they were trying to say that's why they have him in there.
Interesting.
But he was in, the Justice League animated series long before Marvel came back out. You know what I mean? So he's had his fair share of in there. So I don't agree with that of why they were saying he was in there. But he is in there. Danny calls out a couple books.
Yeah, Danny is calling out Green Arrow number 42. Green Lantern number 50, hitting that number 50 with Batman there. Paper Girls number 22, The Walking Dead 181, and we'll get to the one there that he's got, but X-Men Gold number 31. He also asked a question, what did you think of the wedding special for the X-Men? And man, Danny, I think I gotta admit, I did not get into that one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know I've been with you on the X-Men for some time, but I'm a little bit behind on them, so I'm going to have to get caught up. So, I apologize on that one.
And most of those are going to be canceled. So who knows what's going to happen with X-Men Here Comes Soon.
Yeah.
Because they are canceling, I believe, red and blue. And is it gold and blue? I don't know.
Gold and blue were the first ones.
Yeah. But they're going to cancel a couple of them, and hopefully Uncanny comes back or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. So there's always that. Marvel, let's go up on to Marvel now. We got Captain America number 1 coming back out again. I thought that what happened is legacy numbering.
Yeah.
That was short ran.
You got to take Marvel at, everything they say with a grain of salt. So
they were right for a couple weeks.
For a couple weeks, yeah. That's kind of how it rolls with them. It was kind of that whole thing of when they came out and said, we're not going to do any big events after Secret Empire.
And now there's this huge hunt for Wolverine, and
there's all sorts of things. Yep. So it's just funny.
But yeah. Yeah. And there is like another, last week we talked about, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about how there was triple Z covers for Tony Stark Iron Man number 1. And this one, maybe not as many, but close to it. Trying to squeeze that dollar dry. Trying to squeeze that dollar dry. One that Danny talks up on here in the chat is he read the Century number 1, and he liked the Century number 1 with Jeff Lemire. I've heard a number of people tell me that it was a really good book for another.
I love that Lemire's on Century because Century is such a fascinating character. So that's pretty cool. That's really good. Yeah.
Then we have a writer that we kind of talked about as well a little bit, or we haven't talked about him as well, but another guy who's quite busy. and that is Donny Cates.
Mm-hmm.
Donny Cates is on the death of the Inhumans. Finally, they're going to kill the Inhumans, get rid of it, and forget it ever happened. I don't know.
That sounds like a little.
That's a little much.
There.
It's a little much. But to try to have them replace the mutants is, that was not very genius. But ultimately, the show's canceled. The TV show Inhumans is not happening. And but Donny Cates on it. I'm digging what Donny Cates does. All of it. I'm in for that.
Yeah, Donny Cates is super talented. He's such a rock star when it comes to comic books. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, I'm pretty glad for that.
And he's doing double duties this week with Marvel. He's got the Cosmic Ghost Rider. This is one that he kind of hinted to us when we got to talk with him about. There's another title I may be doing with Venom, and yep, it's one of his favorite characters. To give that, Venom's his favorite, and Ghost Rider is probably his second favorite character that he likes. And the fact that he's on it is pretty cool. And it's basically the Punisher is Ghost Rider in the future. Like,
that's amazing,
freaking awesome. All the way around. So Donny Cates is going to throw some crazy crap at you. Just how he made Loki the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
He's going to throw some stuff at you. So if that's awesome news for a Marvel fan.
Oh, for sure.
Awesome news for a Marvel fan that there's going to be weird, twisted stories from Donny Cates.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah. Then we got a couple image titles here. This one is one that I've really enjoyed myself. This is Scales and Scoundrels, but we're getting the second trade paperback on this one. So this is volume 2. It's just I don't know. It's just a cool story. I've really gotten into it. So Sebastian Gerner's on this one. As you guys remember, that's one of the creators of our near and dear title, the Shirtless Bear Fighter.
It is.
This has been such a good book. The art, I mean, I'll even admit, when I first got into it, the art seemed kind of weird, and I didn't know if I'd continue with it, but kept reading into it, and the story's just on point. And the art, I've totally gotten over. It's fun. So glad for that one. Glad to get that one on my shelf.
Awesome, man. That's been a solid book. The next one I got a call is I did a review for number 1 on this, and this is The Last Siege number 2. Landry Q. Walker with Justin Greenwood, Eric Jones, and Patrick Rosso. A cool story. This they call it the spaghetti western, and basically in old England. The number 1 was awesome. I liked Greenwood's art. And it was originally said to be a ongoing title. But now in the solicits, it's saying it's going to be, like this week said, 3 of 8 for the next one to order. So hopefully the sales maybe pick up. Maybe number 1 didn't sell as well as it should have, but maybe number 1 picks it up or number 2 gets it, and we get some more of this, because I thought it was good. The first one was really cool. I actually really dug the story of the first one. So
yeah,
take a look at that.
For sure. We've got another heavy hitter in the comics industry here. We've got Rick Remender coming out with Death or Glory number 3 this week. This guy knows how to write comic books, and this is another book that just really highlights his ability to do that, because it's a lot of fun and it's really good. If you guys haven't gotten into Death or Glory yet, I would suggest that you do immediately. Go pick up the first 2 books and get caught up when you go pick up the 3rd tomorrow. So it's a really, really quality book.
Nice. Another dude, I've loved that book, to be honest. Number 1, number 2, great. And I am digging Bengal's art. That dude can draw a car. That guy is amazing artist. And it's been really cool. So I'm going to call out a number 1, and this is number 1 to America, but it's been out for a while. This is Unnatural. Not my typical book I would really call out, but Mirka Andolfo, her art is phenomenal. She has a little pig woman who is in a weird world, and was an Italian story, and it has been taken over here at the U.S. and translated over. And it is about forbidden love. It's got a lot of social commentary in it. It is got an interesting piece, but the artist can draw really well. She has been able to, she draws women very very provocatively, but very gorgeous.
Yeah.
It is again it was a good book. It was got a lot of credit out in over in Italy. So score there on that.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Yeah, I don't know what's that book. Oh man, I'm blanking, guys. Screw the comment. It's I'm not gonna get it before we end.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about White Ash.
Well, White Ash is kind of in that point a little bit.
Yeah,
but that's not the one. But
okay.
Yeah.
Think about it.
It'll come back to me.
But you got a book right there.
You guys are gonna slap me when I come up with it. Yeah, I'm looking at this one is IDW's Low Life's #1. So a new book, a new title coming out for IDW. So we've been getting into a couple of these more crime focused or like low life focused books. We'll have a couple reviews coming out for The Hard Place and Slots as well. And this one just kind of sort of seems to fit into that theme of the underground low life. It seems to be maybe there's a crooked cop involved, there's some druggies involved, so that sort of thing. It just kind of showed itself out to me. This one's Brian Bucoletto, who's on this one. So
I like his work.
For some reason, I feel like I just want to pick that up and read through it. Go see where that's going.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
One that I'm going to call out, and it's a movie that I'm looking forward to, and that is Bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Bumblebee Transformer prelude story. So this is the prelude to the movie that's coming out. And if anybody, Transformers, goes out to my friend Gomer over at Outright Geekery, who is a huge Transformer Hasbro fan universe.
Mm-hmm.
But all around, if you're going to get into the movie, you might as well get into the book. Take a look at what they got for you with IDW Bumblebee.
So I don't know much about what's that book, or at least what that movie is going to be about either. Because we got a trailer out on that one, didn't we?
I'm not sure I got a trailer.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it seems to be with the book that it might take place further back in time.
Right.
So that'll be really interesting. We'll see how that goes.
Bumblebee's probably one of my favorite ones. So
Bumblebee's awesome.
Everybody liked him in the movies. He was probably he came out to be one of the stars in it.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
He can't even talk.
Yep. But the way he uses the radio.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yep. And then I'm going to call out a vault book, and this is Submerge #1. This is Vita Ayala's book, and it's a book, you want to see what she's going to do. She's going to be Vita is going to be the new writer of Livewire. And I think that's great that they're writing that. And to see what Vita can do, this is a book to see, to check out. So take a look at that book, Submerge #1 with Vault for Vita. There's a trade in the works too.
Oh, is that this week, huh?
That is this week.
Okay, yeah. Well, now we're talking about our Valiant folks. We've got Quantum and Woody Volume 1. So this is Kibblesmith's run before we got
Elliot Rahal.
Elliot Rahal. Thank you so much. I don't know why I'm having such trouble remembering names or titles or anything this week, but
it's rusty, dude.
Yeah, but this one was fun. This was a really good one. I think it was a great return to Quantum and Woody.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a light week for Valiant, guys. We got Valiant High #3. So the previously released Comixology digital only, which turned out to not be, now it's in print, is Valiant High #3. Another Daniel Kibblesmith coming out as well. I read this book. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was an entertaining read. It's not canon or anything, but it's a solid, fun read. Gives you a good idea of the characters. And yeah, it's a good read.
I think if they're not coming out with anything else this week, it's a good way to keep, people interested in the titles and stuff. And
it's weird that we had 3 books last week, though.
Yeah, well, the timing, they're still figuring it out.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some decent books to be had this week. We're going to see the Batman wedding that's coming around the corner. Some awesome Image titles, and then of course Dark Hammer's coming out with something else again.
Yeah.
So
that's exciting. It's good stuff.
Right.
Good stuff.
But ultimately, I want to know what you guys are reading. What do you guys got on your pool list? Tell us. We want some good recommendations. Danny's given us his list, but anybody else, put those in the comments down below, or make sure you are subscribing to us right down here. And subscribe. So,
yeah. Thanks for coming on with us. Enjoy your new comic book day. And if you're in the U.S., happy 4th of July tomorrow.
That's right.
All right.